Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. This is episode 4, playing on Black Ice, which is a total modification for Hearts of Iron 4. I am playing as the Empire of Japan. My very first time playing as Japan on Hearts of Iron. And this episode, our goal is to finish off this war against the Republic of China, start using those newfound resources to really bulk up my army and navy and prepare for a eventual war against probably the United States. If you did not see the first 3 episodes, there's a link in the description below that'll take you back to episode 1. If you want to support this channel, the best ways you can do that is number 1, drop a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, and watch the video to the end. Those are the things YouTube likes to see. And so that's the best way you can help out by supporting this channel. We're going to continue on. It's now January of 1940. Ever since supply has been resolved as an issue, we've been able to start breaking out, and I think we're going to very quickly march through China. I think they've hit their breaking point. We do have some issues with partisans kind of breaking out all over, so I've got to assign units to be garrison units to deal with those things as they happen, but really just a minor annoyance more than anything else. So as I gaze at the map a little bit, one of the things you can see are when I click on the decision tool, you can see on the map some decisions that would be very helpful. Developing the iron ore deposits here would add 8 steel production. Here, developing the bauxite deposits would add 12. A lot of those, however, require certain things that I haven't developed yet. In this case, excavation 3 is a technology. Over here, excavation 2. So I really want to focus on those excavation researches. So we've got to do that, and we've got a couple other things we've got to do before we can get excavation 3, but those are also going to help. This whole war in China is all about resources. It's all about gaining the tools I need to be able to continue the war long term. For now, I'm going to stand down my navy. Really, all they're doing is doing patrols and taking out convoys, which is great, and it hurts the Chinese, but what it's also doing is it's taking all of my available oil supply. I'm already trading for a ton of oil, and what little oil I have was being really consumed by the Navy. So by doing that, that's going to actually allow me to start building up a little bit of oil supply, and allows my Army and my Air Force to have everything that they need, which is really the priority right now. We're into February now of 1940. I'm hoping by the end of 1940 we will have largely finished off China as a fighting force. I don't know what's happening in Europe, but let's go ahead and take a look over there. It looks like things are as they were in 1940, which is Poland was taken out, but Germany really hasn't made a move on the Western Allies yet. Our work towards nuclear power continues. Let's take a look and see where we're at on that. Atomic research. We are up to 1940 now, so we're right on time. This next one's going to take the better part of a year, and then we are going to be at the place where we're very close to developing the bomb. Right there, 1945 is the pace that we're on. Going to need every bit of that. I'm slowly but surely finally dealing with all of these kind of behind-the-scenes issues that I've had with these Chinese units that have arisen in rebellion. Once we deal with that, German interest in Scandinavia. Norway has joined the Allies. And it looks like we just took the capital of China, so that's a big deal. The Reich has declared war on Norway. So they're going after Norway first, and then they'll probably turn their attention here in a few months to going after France. We'll see how that all works out for them. Let's see where the war stands. 44%. We've got China down by about half. They've only got between 15 and 32 divisions in the field, which is kind of surprising that that's all they have. And casualties, about 2 to 1 still. So we've got a lot of territory still to take. Well, Germany has declared war on Luxembourg, and Luxembourg has capitulated, so I think it's safe to say that Germany has begun the march toward France. Taking out Luxembourg right here. That's just one more step to kind of get around the Maginot Line and go right at the French. I've got a bunch of new divisions I just got into the field, and we're going to add them to the garrison. All right, here we go. Netherlands, yep, so they're pretty much right on time with all of that. We're going to add these 9 new divisions to the garrison that's going to come over here and just kind of keep the peace in the rear. I still have an issue here with this little bulge of Chinese infantry that I just haven't been able to deal with. So we're going to try to deal with them as we continue the march south. Pretty soon we're going to push all the way to the bottom here. And I just don't know if that's going to be enough to win the war until I deal with all of this. So I might try to move in right through here if I can. Cut them off and see if that does the trick. Netherlands is out. That was super fast. Let's go take a look real quick. It's April of 1940. And there you have it. Belgium's next. And then it's probably free reign into Paris. So Germany has declared war on Belgium. Italy has declared war on France. It is on in Europe at last. I think we'll... I don't know if we're going to worry about submarines yet. These destroyer 4s are going to be fairly easy to research, even though I'm well ahead on that timeline. Let's see where we're at on the war itself. We are up to 53% toward capitulation, so we're making progress. Things continue to be at kind of a 2-to-1 rate as far as the casualties go. We're continuing to try to fill out all of these World War I doctrines. There's still a long way to go before we can get to World War II doctrines. What else are we working on? Formation fighting, so there's a lot of things there going on. We're 95 days from excavation 2, which is going to allow me to do some of those decisions that'll help with resources. I just want to try and I'm going to try and figure out who I can send to cut these guys off up in here. Seems like he's pretty thin right here, and I may be able to do that. All right, the strategy seems to be working. We're about to have him cut off, and then I feel like it should get a little easier at that point. I've also taken Shanghai, and I've got a Japanese division isolated there that we're about to take out, and then we're going to start pushing south. I'm trying to push down into the middle here and see if I can't cut off some more of his divisions and see if we can just wipe those guys out. Trying to, instead of just taking land, I'm trying to take out his army as much as I possibly can. We're running into a little bit of a slowdown here. Norway's out. I believe Belgium's also out. Let's see what's happening. Oh yeah. Things are going pretty much as they did historically. Looks like Paris is going to fall within a matter of days or weeks. Things are looking good for the Axis all the way around right now. Man, we just can't seem to finish this guy off, though. And Italy has officially joined the Axis. Let's take a look and see where things stand with these wars. The German-Polish War, as it is called, which is Germany, Slovakia, and the Kingdom of Italy. Between 3 and 4 million in manpower. Pretty even on that side, but losses about 3-to-1. Obviously, the majority of those belong to the Polish, but the UK has lost 129,000 as well. And France, of course, Belgium's out, Netherlands is out, Norway's out. Where is the French Republic? 144,000. They're still a long way from capitulation. China continues to be a thorn in my side because of these folks that keep appearing in my rear. And I've got a garrison to cover that, but it just takes a while for them because they're just all over the place. But we have gone down and we've cut him into pieces here. We've cut these guys off. We're also still trying to get this last territory so we can cut him off here as well. We're closing in on the north. So things are looking up. They're going well. It's just kind of slow going. We've got our breakthrough July of 1940. We are starting to isolate and hopefully very soon destroy these pockets of resistance among the Chinese. We're just going to squeeze all of these traps now. Although he continues to break out with these little areas of resistance in the rear echelons of my forces, which just is a thorn in my side more than anything. It's just an annoyance that has to be dealt with. and it kind of affects how quickly I can take him out. We've got the Soviet Republic of China, 85% toward recapitulation. The Republic of China is 67%. So both of them are soon to fall. This is the Soviet Republic here of China. Just these few remaining red areas. Looks like he opened up the hole once again. Once I take a few more of China's major cities, that'll be over. There's excavation 2, which is going to allow me, I think, a couple of spots where I can prospect for resources. We can develop these iron ore deposits. It's going to give me 8 steel production. We're going to get 12 of bauxite production here, and that's going to free up some of my trade resources. Just need a little bit more steel, which we'll continue to trade for from Manchukuo. So things are getting much better as far as the resource production end of things. We're working on construction 3, which will then allow me excavation 3, which gets me a whole bunch more of those means of production. I'm not worried about paratroopers. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this here. Chemical industry. Border skirmish, Japanese victory. That will teach them. Hurts his manpower. That's cool. All right. Let's keep it going after these areas. Finish him off. Man, there's just so many of them anymore. But really, that don't matter a whole lot once I take the rest of his major cities. Trying to deal with the Soviets here as well. They're at 84%. Republic of China's at 68%. So little has changed. Into August now of 1940. I do believe I'll win this war before the end of 1940, though. So here's what the pockets of resistance look like at this point. We're going to squeeze in and destroy some divisions here. Looks like we're getting super close to doing just that. Yeah, you can see now that the casualties are rapidly going up for the Chinese United Front. We've got 3 nations about to be finished off. Plus these annoying people back here. And right here as well. It's just a couple of divisions that I keep having to try and pursue, and they just keep going all over the place and making it difficult for me. But while that's happening, we're just gathering up more and more territory. Paris has fallen. It's August 1940. The Reich seems unstoppable in Europe. The Japanese Empire equally unstoppable in Japan or in Eastern Asia. Just so much area that I'm trying to cover right now. With those pockets of resistance taken out, we now march on the remaining territory of the Soviet Republic of China. That'll be just a matter of days, if not... Wow, how did that happen? He must have taken his one big piece of territory that kind of controls everything else. That'll quickly change here in just a minute. We get to bypass the war with China, national focus, which now gets me another research slot ready to open up. I've got a ton of those already, so that's fantastic. We're going to have a very high-tech Japanese empire. This is just a mop-up operation at this point. France is gone. October 6, 1940, the French Republic has capitulated. I think we're about to see China right behind them. Let's see where things stand for me. You can see Soviet Republic of China. I've got one last area that I've got to take for them. The Republic of China is now at 79% toward capitulation. We've just got a few remaining outliers there as well. Let's take a look at Europe. Way offline here. There's Vichy France. You can see that things look largely as they did at the end of 1940. So it's all shaping up pretty historic so far, at least in Europe. They canceled their non-aggression pact with me. What, they don't need me anymore? Is that what this is all about? Bring it on, Germany. That'd be interesting. although I don't think that's going to happen historically, because I do have historic AI focus. It's recommended that you use that for the Black Ice mod, so I have it on this one. Soviet Republic of China should fall within a matter of a week or two, I would guess. So we just got another research slot available. That gives me what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 research slots now. A lot of these are being focused right now on Army doctrine. Soviet Republic of China will fall, I think, as soon as I take this territory right here. Shanghai rose up in rebellion one more time, and I feel like that's probably the thing that's keeping me from victory against the Chinese. So that should be coming very, very quickly as well. You can see where things stand with them now. We're about to close off all these finishing territories. We're just going to send this whole army in around these last territories. Then we can turn and deal with the ones a little further to the west. Come on, boys. He's holding out stubbornly in the mountains over here. Here we go, we're at 85%. All right, that should be the end, yep, of the Soviet Republic of China. They have capitulated. We got one little bit of their territory left to gobble up. The Chinese made a bit of an incursion up in here and actually surrounded and destroyed, I think, 3 of my divisions. But we're about to get a massive force to turn around and send toward them so that we can finish these guys off. Republic of China is at 78%, so it's been pretty static for a little while now. But as soon as this 20 or so divisions finishes off what they're doing over here, we get to turn all of them and unleash them on what's left of China. So that'll probably take us into the beginning of 1941, which is fine. So we've completed excavation 3, and the main issue right now is just the annoyance of these partisans who just keep appearing in my rear, and there's just so many of them. They're occupying half my divisions just trying to keep the peace, and he's taken enough of his major cities that it's making it a real headache for me to finish off this war. So I'm just having to do a lot of micromanaging to deal with all of that in the rear while I try to take out these last pockets of resistance. Now I do have the ability now to develop these further resource areas, which should once again free up plenty of my trade. So really, if I can just finish off these pockets of resistance, China will fall, but it's taken way, way longer than I thought it would. March 1941, we are at 95%. Well, we were. Now we're at 91%. It fluctuates so quickly because of these partisans. So I'm trying to grab just a few more of his major cities so that we can finish this thing off and call it a day. And it looks like this is one of the cities that we just lost again. So anywhere that I see cities that I can take for points, just to push him over that 100%, I'm going for it right now. But I've also got to hang on to the ones that I keep losing. Hopefully that should somewhat resolve the issue. At the very least, it means I can take all of my frontline troops and we can start the occupation. I've got some occupation forces now, but there are just so many places I have to deal with. There it is. It took a long time, but once I recaptured Shanghai, we finally have finished this off. So now we are at a place where we can finally get all that we want to be able to do here. We've got 4,000 points. I could puppet China, which is probably the way I want to go with this, I think. That would make those resources available to me at a cheap price. Maybe I want to at least take some areas. I primarily want to take the ones that are going to provide me with those rich resources. So I think I'll probably take some territory, not that. But for the most part, I'm going to puppet China because I just don't want to have to deal with that mess of trying to occupy all of that territory. Where's the steel? I mostly want the steel. Some of it's up here. But there's not a lot, really, that I'm too concerned about as far as territory goes. I just want all the good steel-producing areas for myself. And then the rest we can just trade for. Here we go. And then we need to make sure it's all connected, which it appears to be. We'll kind of keep all this area down here. It seems like a nice area to kind of keep to myself. And I think the rest we're just going to go ahead and puppet. And then we're going to pretty much call it a day after that. Now we still got some more we can do here. Yeah, we'll puppet those guys. We'll puppet those guys. There we go. I believe that's it. All right, so victory at last in China. We've got the reorganized Chinese government. We've got the areas that I've chosen to take, which I very unwisely did not connect my territory up here, which I should have done. But this is a puppet, so it shouldn't be a huge issue for me here. The reorganized government of China. So we're going to wrap it up right there because there's a lot that I'm going to have to rethink and kind of look at where things stand now. As now I have the resources that I need. Now I've got to rebuild my army. I've got to get them reorganized, refit, and ready for the next phase, which of course is to start expanding into the South Pacific and taking some of that territory. So let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below, and we will see you again with another episode in about a week or so. Thanks for watching.